طيب إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أما بعد. طيب يا إخوة, إن شاء الله we'll continue الدرس الثالث من دروس المهمة أركان الإيمان. We'll take the third lesson from the important lesson from the Muslims, the pillar of al-Iman, Arkan al-Iman. Before everything, inshallah, we start explaining the word Arkan and al-Iman. Why is it called Arkan al-Iman? Not Furu' al-Iman. Arkan. So Arkan is plural of al-Rukn. And the definition they give the ulama, ما يبنى عليه غيره. ما يبنى عليه غيره. Anything that's built on that is called a rukun. So, for example, pillars. We have pillars. Top of the pillars, everything depends on that, isn't it? Depend on pillars. If you don't have pillars, it's gonna whatever top of the pillar will come down. You have tent. Tent is protected by the pillars. You have building, pillars. So, arkan, rukun, ma yubna alayhi ghayruhu. Everything else is built on top of that. Arkan. And the rukun, the opposite is far'a. And the definition is ma yubna ala ghayrihi. And the rukun is ma yubna alayhi. Upon it. And the furu' is ما يبنى على غيره. The branch is something is established on something else, which is the pillar. طيب. أركان الإيمان, pillars of Iman. So, Iman, the word Iman is the root word for آمنة. آمنة يؤمن إيمانا. آمنة يؤمن إيمانا. To believe. Iman means to believe. To believe, yeah. So when we say al-Iman, the belief, the creed. طيب. And in al-Iman, لغة means تصديق, as the ulama said. تصديق, to accept, to believe. طيب. And we know this from the ayah of Surah Yusuf. وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمُؤْمِنٍ لَنَا. You know when Yusuf alayhi salam, they took Yusuf alayhi salam and they lied about Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf is eaten by the wolf, whatever. And they said to the father, وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمُؤْمِنٍ لَنَا. You know, يعني مُصَدِّقْ لَنَا. You know, believe us, trust us. So, tasdiq means to trust. And Iman comes in the Quran, linguistic meaning is shar'an. And when Allah said about Lut alayhi salam, فَآمَنَ لَهُ لُوط. Yani, Lut alayhi salam believed Ibrahim alayhi salam what he said regarding he's going to migrate from Sham. Wherever he is, he's going to migrate from that area. فَآمَنَ لَهُ لُوط. Lut alayhi salam believed this uncle going to migrate. That's the linguistic meaning. فَآمَنَ لَهُ لُوط. Yani, صَدَّقَ لَهُ لُوط. He believed. Now, Iman comes in the Quran, and how do we know? They said, after Iman comes Lam, means lughatan, linguistic meaning. If the Ba comes, meanings is shar'an. So let me give you Iman comes in the Quran shar'an. Okay? Allah says in the Quran, فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. فَإِنْ آمَنُوا. If they believe, بِمِثْلِ, like the way you believed, they'll be guided. So what does Iman here mean now? Iman, amanu, meaning they believe in the heart, state with the tongue, action of the limbs. You practice your deen, implement your deen. Okay? So Iman comes in the Quran, linguistic meaning and Islamic meaning. Now let's define what Iman is. In linguistic we've done that. Shar'an, what does Iman mean? Islamically, what does Iman mean? And regarding the definition of al-Iman, there are a lot of people have deviated in that. Okay, we're not going to go into this, but we're just going to mention the actual definition of al-Iman. طيب, the definition of al-Iman اصطلاحا and شرعا كما قال Imam Ahmad الإيمان قول وعمل. Okay, Iman is statement and action. And there's a narration as well, يزيد وينقص, increase and decreases. Also, when Imam Ahmad said قولا وعملا, قول are two types, statement two types, actions are two types. قول اللسان, we break it down. Okay, قول اللسان, anything that you say in your tongue, أذكار, you recite the Quran, testifying of La ilaha illallah, these are all قول اللسان. وقول القلب, statement of the heart. What is the statement of the heart? It's the belief that you have in Allah, the statement. Action are two types. Three. Action of the tongue, action of the limbs, and action tongue, the limbs, and the heart. So action of the tongue is all the worship that you do with your tongue. Action of the limb, heart, is the love of Allah, hope of Allah, the fear of Allah, all this. That is action of the heart, the worship of the heart. Action of the limbs is your salah, your zakat, your hajj, your jihad. All these are action of the limbs. طيب? So that's how we break down the statement of Imam Ahmad. Now, other ulama have explained Iman more longer. It means same thing, like they would say Iman قول باللسان واعتقاد بالجنان وعمل بالجوارح. Okay, belief, statement, action. Belief of the heart, statement of the tongue, action of the limbs. And this statement you will find all the Salaf said it. Every Salaf, scholar of the past who came, Imam Bukhari, Imam Ahmad, Imam Shafi, Bayhaqi, Baghawi, they all said this is Iman. Until the scholars of our times. So the action is part of Iman. You can't take the action away from the Iman. And Imam Bukhari said, I have traveled different lands, okay? Different lands, and I have met ulama, the scholars, Imam Bukhari said. And he said, I haven't seen them separate between Iman and action. This is one thing. They are one thing. That's why in the Quran you'll find, a lot of the time, when Allah Azza wa Jal mentions Iman, what is he mentioned with that? Action. Iman and action, they have to come together. Okay? You can't just believe in Allah and not practice your deen. So we have to implement our Iman. طيب? So that's what Iman means. شرعا, اصطلاحا. قول باللسان, اعتقاد بالجنان, وعمل بالجوارح. Okay? The belief in the heart, state of the tongue, belief in the heart, and action of the limbs. You have to practice your Iman. طيب? And also part of the definition is يزيد بطاعة الله وينقص بمعصية الله. The Iman increases by obeying Allah Azza wa Jal, and it decreases by disobeying Allah Azza wa Jal. And it's part of Aqidah, Iman increase and decrease. And Ibn Mubarak, one of the Salaf, was asked, does the Iman go up? He said, Iman go up as mountain, can go up. And he said, can the Iman go down? He said, Iman can go down so much until a person has no Iman. Maybe, subhanallah. So this is called Iman. We have to understand the word Iman means. We have Muslims, they don't understand what Iman is. They think I believe in Allah and the books and the messenger, I'm Muslim. But Iblis believes that. Action is taken away from Iman. No, action is part of Iman. What makes us different from Iblis and the mushrik of the Quraysh is that we believe and we have action. Our limbs worships Allah. طيب? That's Arkanul Iman. الدرس الثالث أركان الإيمان. The third lesson of this book of important lessons for Muslims is pillars of Iman. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to read what Shaykh bin Baz said, rahimahullah. أركان الإيمان وهي ستة. The pillars of Iman are 6. أن تؤمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله وباليوم الآخر وتؤمن بالقدر خيره وشره من الله تعالى. So Shaykh bin Baz said that pillars of Iman are 6. To believe in Allah, to believe the angels, to believe in the books, His messengers, the last day, and to believe in the qadr, good and the bad. طيب? So what we're going to do, we're going to take one by one. Each of them are books. It's a lot to write. But we will summarize it. طيب? Now, the first pillar of Iman, the most important, okay, first of all, where did we get this from? Shaykh bin Baz, he made it up. He just said it. Okay, no, he said it because there's evidence for that. The evidence is in the Quran and Sunnah. Allah said, ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر. طيب, the righteousness is not to turn your face towards the Qibla, but the righteousness to believe in Allah, the last day, the books and the angels, in the last day. In some ways, where is the Qadr? It's not another verse. Inna kulla shayn khalaqnahu biqadr. Everything we have created with a decree. So we find the 6 pillars of Iman in the Quran. So in the Hadith, in Sahih Muslim of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, Hadith, he said, بينما نحن جلوس عند الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم ذات يوم فطلع عليه رجل. Okay? فجلس إلى الرسول فاستدار ركبتيه ووضع كفيه لفخذيه. One day we were sitting with Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. A man came in. So this man who came in, nobody knows him. Okay? And he describes him. Long hair, beautiful, white thobe, and this man is not from our town. Who is this man? Always the Hadith explains who this man is. Jibril, isn't it? But he came and sat next to Prophet ﷺ. He placed his thigh, knee to knee, and he put his hand on his thigh. And then he said, what is Islam? What is Iman? He said, أخبرني عن الإيمان. Tell me about Iman, O Muhammad. He said, an Iman, تؤمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والإيمان بالقدر خير وشر. To believe in Allah, the malaika, the books, the messengers, the last day, and to believe in the qadr. So our evidence, the 6 pillars of Iman, is in the Quran and in the Hadith, Sahih Muslim of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. So we have dalil for the 6 pillars of Iman. Now, my brothers, Iman is our life based on Iman. And our Iman is our belief, what we believe in a Sharia is success in dunya and akhirah. That's why we prioritize learning about Iman. We prioritize teaching people about Iman. What is Iman? And to live by it. Okay? Our success in dunya and akhirah depend on our Iman. If our Iman is corrupted, then our life, akhirah will be corrupted, dunya and akhirah. So, for our action to be accepted, we have to have the right Iman. Okay, right belief. Okay? In the Quran, it said, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فَلَنُحْيَنُّ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. Look at this. Whoever does righteous action, whether male or a female, وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ. So this is an evidence now, will make them live a good life. Now, waw is haliyah. So he or she does good action in a state of a believer. Then we will accept his action. Then we will make him live a good life. So if the person does good deed, not in a state of a believer, it means that it won't be accepted by Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? So, our Iman, okay, is a success for us here in Akhirah, and also is a criterion for our criterion for our action to be accepted by Allah Azza wa Jal. So that's one of the ayah we can use. طيب يا إخوة. Now, what we're going to do, inshallah, so their books have written the importance of Iman. Okay? And Ibn Qayyim said, he talks about Iman. He said, Al-Iman or Aqidah, Al-Iman أول أمر وآخره وأول من يدخل به الإسلام وأول ما يخرج من الدنيا. That he said in Madraj Salikin, the first matter is our deen, our Iman. Iman awul amr. Iman the first matter and the last matter. The first you embrace Islam and you leave the dunya with that. So Iman is the most important thing, part of our deen. We have to purify our heart. We have to have right belief in Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? So what we need to do, inshallah, أن تؤمنوا بالله to believe in Allah. So the first pillar of Iman is to believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. So when we say, Amantu Billah, I believe in Allah, what does it mean? What does it mean to say, Amantu Billah, I believe in Allah? Oh, He exists. Is that it? So a lot of people don't know what it means when we say, Imanu Billah. Imanu Billah has 4 pillars. Okay? The first pillar is Wujudillah. Okay? Wujudillah. To believe Allah exists. Now, existence of Allah Azza wa Jal are found in 2 ways. Ayatul Shar'iyya, Ayatul Kawniyya. Ayatul Shar'iyya is the Quran. That's the ayah, signs of Allah Azza wa Jal, because Quran itself is a miracle from Allah Azza wa Jal. And it talks about things that nobody knows. Nobody knows. Allah, it talks about science, subhanallah, the people learning science from Quran. So Quran is the sign of Allah Azza wa Jal. Second, we learn about Allah Azza wa Jal, Ayatul Kawniyya, universal signs. Okay? And that includes everything that is created by Allah Azza wa Jal. Night and the day, sun and the moon, yourself. Okay? وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ اللَّيْلُ وَالنَّهَارُ وَالشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ لَا تَسْجُدُوا لِلشَّمْسِ وَلَا لِلْقَمَرِ وَاسْجُدُوا لِلَّهِ الَّذِي خَلَقَهُنَّ إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْبُدُونَ. From the sign of Allah, night and the day, sun and the moon. These are signs of Allah. Okay? And do not make sajda to these creations, but make sajda to the one who created them. So, if you look at this creation, more than that, the bird, the trees, the rivers, the mountains, all this creation that you see, who created them? These are signs of Allah Azza wa Jal. So the ulama says that when you have any form of doubt, or not doubt but weak, Imam becomes weak, look at the signs of Allah. Unfortunately, we don't have much signs here. But when you go countryside, you see a lot of signs. The clouds, the trees, the mountains, the waterfalls. No, these are signs. The animals you see. You see, who created these things? These are signs of Allah Azza wa Jal. So, and the believers, they will look at the signs of Allah, and they said, oh Allah, He did not create them in vain, this creation. And Ibn Qayyim talks about these signs. And Allah didn't just create those signs, but He created for benefit of the human being, the sun and the moon. What is the benefit of the sun? Is the creation. Rain is the benefit of the creation. Night is a benefit for us to sleep, and the day for us to work. So this creation benefits us. So wujudillah, existence of Allah Azza wa Jal, are known through these 2 things. Ayatul Kawniyya Shar'iyya, signs, universal signs, and the signs which are related to the Sharia of the Quran and the Sunnah. The second pillar of Imanu Billah, okay, so wujudillah and wujudul makhluq. Our existence and Allah's existence, what is the difference? Allah's existence, no one gave it to Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah existed for eternity. He had no beginning, He had no end. Okay? And Allah, He is awwal wal akhir. He's the first and the last. When you say He's the first, there was nothing before Allah Azza wa Jal. Meaning that Allah Azza wa Jal always existed. That's wujudillah. طيب, also, wujudul makhluq. They have beginning and they have end. So we have existence, Allah has existence, but our existence is not like the existence of Allah Azza wa Jal. طيب, the next pillar of Imanu Billah is that to believe al-Rububiyyah of Allah Azza wa Jal. Al-Rububiyyah. So we believe Allah exists, we believe He's the Lord of the heaven and the earth. He is the Lord of the heaven and the earth. What do we understand when we say Allah is Rabbul Alameen? Al-Rabb. The ulama says, when we say Allah is Al-Rabb, it consists of these following things. Okay? He is the creator. He is the provider. He is the sustainer. He is the controller. He is the owner. He is the one who gives life and death. So when we say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, includes all of that. Include all of that. He is Rabb. And we've explained that when we say Ar-Rabb, meaning He only refers to Allah Azza wa Jal. But indefinite, Rabbun, it can refer to other than Allah. But Ar-Rabb is only Allah Azza wa Jal. The certain name only for Allah. So Ar-Rububiyyah. Ar-Rububiyyah, Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, oneness of Allah in Lordship, is the second pillar of Iman Billah. The third pillar of Iman Billah is al-Uluhiyya. So the Rububiyyah, Uluhiyya goes hand in hand. So when we believe Allah is the Lord of the heaven and the earth, He deserves to be worshipped alone. And all the ibadah has to be done for Allah Azza wa Jal. Salah, zakat, hajj, love of Allah, hope of Allah, fear of Allah. Everything should be done for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? And this is part of Allah's Lordship. To worship Allah alone means that He is the Lord of the heaven and the earth. And Ibn Kathir says, الخالق لهذه الأشياء مستحق للعبادة. The creator of all these things deserve to be worshipped alone. طيب, and they go hand in hand. So the ulama says that if someone believes Rububiyyah of Allah Azza wa Jal, which is the common thing for the Muslims, but they don't worship Allah Azza wa Jal, then he did not fulfill Rububiyyah. He did not fulfill the Rububiyyah. Because if you believe Allah is the Lord, ultimately the Lord of the heaven and the earth, you should worship Him. He should be worshipped alone. Okay? So, because worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal alone shows that you haven't really believed in Rububiyyah in a way you should believe in Rububiyyah. Because automatically, once you realize who is Ar-Rabb, then you should be worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal. طيب? Because they go hand in hand. طيب. That's the third one, al-Uluhiyya. The fourth one is al-Asma'i was-Sifat. They all go in hand, they have link. Now, when we say Asma wa Sifat of Allah Azza wa Jal, is that we believe Allah's names and attributes, which Allah affirmed Himself in the Quran, and which Allah Messenger affirmed in the Sunnah. We affirm all of that. Now, if you look at the names of Allah, all the names, and you understand them, for example, Ar-Rabb, Al-Ilah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. When you realize that these names and you study them, you realize Allah is unique. Allah is there's nothing like Allah Azza wa Jal. Nobody share anything with Allah in His names and attributes. Once you understand that, then you realize that He deserves to be worshipped alone. So Allah's names and attributes automatically signify that He deserves the worship to deserve to be worshipped alone. For example, Allah is As-Sami'. Okay? What does As-Sami' mean? The one who hears everything. Nobody else can hear everything. Only Allah can hear everything. So He's unique. He has a character, sifat, that nobody has. Al-Basir, the one who sees everything. If Allah Azza wa Jal sees everything, and nobody else can see everything except Allah. And this is a unique quality of Allah Azza wa Jal, unique attributes, nobody possesses. If we just take these two attributes and we say, okay then, that's unique. He deserves to be worshipped alone. He deserves to be served alone. Fear alone, love alone. Okay? So, these names and attributes, when you learn, these are the following benefit I've realized. When you learn the names and attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal, increases love of Allah. Automatically. If that doesn't, there is something wrong with the Iman. Yadu billah. Secondly, increase love of Allah, hope of Allah. Increase the hope of Allah. How? A lot of people, some of the dua, they mentioned that they're approached by people, either juhala, they don't understand about Islam. They say, I've committed so much sin. Do you think I'll be forgiven? The man who killed 99, a man spoke to a jahil. He said, I've killed 99 people. And he said, do you think I have a tawbah? I have any hope in me? There's any hope in me? No way. There's the hope in you. When Allah will never forgive you. So people there believe that, yadu billah. They believe when he commits crime like that, you're finished, destroyed. Then that punishment for that man he was killed as well, yadu billah, 100 people. So there are people out there, they think, I've committed too much sins. Is there any forgiveness for me? Can Allah forgive me? Yadu billah. That's the worst sin you've committed. And part of our aqidah is that to have hope in Allah. Okay? So what I'm saying is that, what is the opposite of raja, hope? Despair. So when you learn about Allah Azza wa Jal, He is Al-Ghafur, Al-Afu, Al-Rahman, Al-Rahim. Okay? Al-Halim. We spoke about Halim. Okay? When you learn this name, you realize, subhanallah, Allah forgives. Allah forgives. He's a forgiver. His name is Al-Ghafur, Al-Afu. The one who shows, one who covers the sin. At-Tawwab, the one who accepts tawbah. So when you study these names, you contemplate, I say, Subhanallah, I can't say, how can I be despair of mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal after all this? طيب? But it doesn't mean we take these names to use and abuse it. Oh, don't worry, Allah al-Ghafur al-Rahman al-Rahim, I've studied his names. Don't worry about it, I commit sin, don't worry, Allah forgive me. That's wrong. To use this name for to commit the sin, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's abusing it, yadu billah. طيب. So what it does is that when you learn the name of Allah, you love Allah, you have hope in Allah, your despair of mercy goes that way. Love, hope, and fear. Love, hope, fear. The third one was you don't despair of mercy of Allah, and the fear of Allah comes as well. You fear as well. You learn some of the name of Allah, Al-Mateen, Al-Jabbar, in some of the names of Allah shows how great Allah is, how Allah can punish people, So these are the benefits I've realized, that when you learn Allah's names and attributes, these are the thamarat, these are the fruits that we get from it. That's why, my brothers, it's important that we study these names of Allah Azza wa Jal. So when we talk about the pillar of Iman Billah, Arkanu Iman Billah, these are the things, these are the 4 pillars that it has. So Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen says in Aqid al-Wasatiyah, if someone believes in Allah, he exists, but doesn't believe Uluhiyya Asma wa Sifat, he hasn't believed in Allah. If he believes in Allah, he exists, he believes in Rububiyyah, but he doesn't believe in Uluhiyya Asma wa Sifat, he hasn't believed in Allah in totality. If he believes in existence of Allah, his lordship, and he worships Allah, but doesn't believe in Asma wa Sifat, he hasn't believed Allah properly yet. Until he fulfills the 4 pillars. Okay? You have to believe in 4 pillars. Then it's Amanta Billah. Then you have believed in Allah Azza wa Jal. If one of them is missing, khalas, you're not true believer in Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? So each pillars are huge. Each pillar, you can write a book on it. But we're just summarizing it. طيب? So first pillar of Iman Billah, Iman is to believe in Allah. The next one is to believe in the Malaika. To believe in the Malaika. Now, so believe in Malaika, my brothers. The Malaika, my brothers, is that they are creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. They are creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. And they don't commit sins. Malaika is plural malak. Okay? And when we do a Malaika, they are creation of Allah Azza wa Jal to serve Allah. And Malaika are creation of Allah, and they do nothing except they worship Allah. And they have no desire to eat or drink or to get married. They are different creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, when we come to believe in the Malaika, the ulama have said, believe in Malaika, ينقسم إلى قسمين, عام والخاص. عام والخاص. General and specific. Now when it comes to Malaika, we have general belief. That we believe in Malaika, general belief is that they're Malaika, we know the names. There's so many Malaika. And the hadith that the Prophet said that we have in Baytul Ma'mur, is a house in Jannah called Baytul Ma'mur, which is visited a lot. Okay, but the Malaika, and Prophet said that this house in Jannah, Baytul Ma'mur, the Malaika goes round, they do tawaf, and they don't come back again. So the Malaika goes round, that Malaika never comes back. That doesn't come back. Different Malaika give the tawaf. That's their job. Just do tawaf. SubhanAllah. So how many Malaika is there? No, we don't know. But we know that they are Malaika. This is Aam. We don't know who they are. We don't know their names. Just general belief we have. They are Malaika. We have Malaika that travels day and night They comes in the morning, they start until evening, then the malaika comes, another group of malaika comes. The general malaika, we don't know their names. Okay? Even the malaika in the womb, Allah has placed, in the womb of the mother, look after the baby, we don't know their names. So their general malaika Allah has given, we don't know their name. But they are there to do their jobs. They are there to do their jobs. These are the, this is Aam. Okay. Now, Khas, specific, the pillars. Firstly, when it comes to specific, we have to believe the names of Malaika. Okay? Because these names are in the Quran and Sunnah. So, you have Jibreel, Mikail, Israfil, okay? Munkar wa Nakir, Malakul Maut. Okay? These are names of Malaika, we have to believe their names. If someone will believe it, he can't be a Muslim. How you say, I don't believe in Jibreel. Jibreel is in the Quran, the name. Are you denying the verse in the Quran? Mikail, Munkar wa Nakir, they specifically comes in the Hadith. Okay? So if you deny the names, you're denying the Hadith in the Quran and the Hadith. So we have to believe their names. And these names are given by Allah. Okay? These names are given by Allah to these Malaika. Tayyib? Secondly, we have to believe the sifat. Prophet describes some of the Malaika. Okay? Like Malaika, khulika bin nur, khulika min nur. Malaika are created from nur. Okay? They're created from light. Jinns are created from fire. Mankind are created from dust. Tayyib? So we believe the descriptions. This is another description I'm going to give you now. Here, the description is that Hadith Sahih, وذن لي أن أحدث عن ملك من ملائكة من حملة عرش إنما بين شحمة أذنه إلى عاتقه مسيرة 700 عام. Hadith in Abu Dawood, Hadith Jabir, Shaykh al-Albani authenticated the hadith. Now, Prophet said, I've been given permission to speak about one of the malaika, one of the angels from angels of Allah Azza wa Jal, which carries the arsh of Allah. You know the arsh of Allah, the greatest creation of Allah, the malaika only are there to serve the purpose, the command of Allah, which is to carry the arsh of Allah. That's their job, nothing else. Okay? So they carry the arsh of Allah. Now listen to this. Ya Allahu Akbar. The size of malaika. You know, shahmatu, what do you call it? Earlobe, yeah? From the earlobe to the shoulder of malaika is 700 years of journey. From the earlobe to the shoulder, look at a banana, you can put a banana here, you know, mango or something. Their distance is 700 years of journey. Tayyib? Subhanallah. This is the size of a malaika. That shows how big a malaika is. Shows the size of a malaika. Another hadith Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu. He said, رأى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم جبريل في صورته وله 600 جناح كل جناح منها قد سد الأفق. Prophet saw Jibril twice. In Jannah and in Dunya he saw. When he came out, when the wahi came down. So Prophet saw Malaika Jibril in his dual form. Okay, in the heaven. 600 wings covers the horizon. If you look up, how big is the sama? How big is it? Wide. Huge, isn't it? The wing of Jibril alayhi salam covered the horizon. That's the size of Jibril alayhi salam. So we have to believe this. Look, hadith mentioned Jibril by name. Okay? The hadith, the Hamlatul Arsh, we don't know the name. One of the angel is 700 journey between the earlobe to the shoulder. We don't know the name of that malaika. That's Aam. But here Prophet said Jibril. Hadith said Jibril. We have to believe that. So Jibril in his size is huge. He's huge in Jibril alayhi salam. So you have to believe the description of the malaika, what he mentioned in the hadith. We also have to believe the name, their description, we have to believe the job they've been allocated. We cannot deny that. So we know the work of Jibreel alayhi salam. Who is the greatest malaika? Jibreel. Okay? His job is to bring the wahi down. That's his job. We believe that. If you don't believe it, you're not a Muslim. Because Allah talks about Ruhul Quds. You know, Allah talks about Jibreel came down with the Quran. We have to believe that. His job is to bring the Quran down to the messengers. That's his job. Okay, Malakul Maut, what is his job? Azrael. Name scary, isn't it? Azrael, his job is to take the soul of the people. That's his job. Malakul Maut. Azrael, in fact, Shaykh al-Islam used some of his books. There's no hadith, but we covered it. Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned it as well. But his name is Malakul Maut, angel of death. Okay? His job is to take the soul of the people. Allah allocated him for that. Okay? Israfil, his job is to blow the trumpet. Okay? Now hadith said that Israel, he's the one, Israfil, that the trumpet is on his mouth, he's about to blow it. He's there. He doesn't sit in there, I wait for Allah to tell me. No, he's there. Subhanallah. Mikael, Malaika, Israel, Mikael is another great angel of Allah Azza wa Jal. He's responsible for what? For the sun and the rain and all that. So every angel has responsibilities. We have to believe their jobs, what they do. We cannot deny that. It's part of a pillar. Also, we have to believe the name, the description, the jobs they are given by Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? These are some of the belief in Malaika specifically. I think there's another one, I can't remember, but these are some of the belief we have to have in Malaika. Okay, we'll continue with the Arkan al-Iman, okay, Ikhwa, with the next one, inshallah, soon. So I'm going to start Riyadh al-Salihin. Yeah.